What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 145, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday. I'm Kevin McManus. With me, Nick Hassell.
You are correct.
Not many episodes left.
Nope, we're all dying.
We're getting up there to the end. Keep saying it, episode 150, our spectacular show is coming to an end, or our god-awful annoyance on the internet will
Don't bring him into this.
silently disappear, but that's okay. Still going to be doing our stuff, still going to be doing spoiler casts and top 10 lists and all this stuff.
No, but really we're dying.
From the grave.
From work.
But this week, just some news, nothing too crazy, really light week. Almost an unfortunately light news week, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Part of the way we're going to do that is talking about what we've been playing. You said you haven't been playing too much new.
No, like
going
that's
through
the
the
problem with multiple 30-plus hour games is that you can only divvy up so much time.
Yes.
Like I mentioned last week.
That's why I stopped playing them.
Yeah. Like I mentioned last week, there was a clear front runner for me as far as which game I felt like I was enjoying the most, and that would be Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yep.
It is still mind-blowing to me. I am actually in hour 30 of the game, which I don't know, going off your Kotaku citing that they said hour 15 is where it really cranks into
that's
high
where the
gear.
game starts, yeah.
I don't. Especially with open-ended games, like you can just go do all the side quests and then do main missions after. Hearing someone say, man, that hour whatever mark, it's just like, that's not going to be the same for any person playing.
Yeah, well, it's Kotaku. So.
That it is. Quality journalism.
Let's not give too much credit.
But that being said, I mentioned last week that there was a cool little mercenary system. Basically, anytime you commit crimes, kind of like within eyesight of people, if you steal stuff, if you stab like a civilian, someone who's not like actively attacking you, or just do generally bad stuff, there will be like a price put on your head, and that person starts off kind of slowly. I think it's like 5 tiers of it. Slowly, they'll send like a mercenary after you, just one guy, and it'll kind of notify you, and when they get within a certain range of you, it's like, hey, this dude's tracking you, this dude's on you, or woman, like this person has shown up, and they're actively seeking you out. And then, they just right in the middle of anything that you're doing, they will just jump in and start attacking. So if you're in the middle, unless it's like a boss fight where you're down deep in a dungeon where no one else can get to you, I don't think they'll follow you to hell or Hades, I guess, and back. But like, if you're just kind of out in the open, then, they will just jump on you and interrupt everything that you're doing. Almost... I think you're safe when you're like buying stuff from like the blacksmith or the vendor, but if you are just out and roaming, they will get you. And obviously, if you keep doing bad stuff after that, if you keep attacking people, more and more start showing up to when they start showing or sending the big guys after you. And the big guys are the ones with like the legendary gear. There's tiers of it, so you start off at like tier 9. And then, like, slowly and slowly as you kill more of the mercenaries, you rank up, and that gives you cool, like, passive bonuses. That gives you cool gear, gives you access to a few more things. So that's cool to have that built into the game. And like we always ding Japanese games usually for, it doesn't disrupt anything else you're doing in the game. You can just naturally keep playing. And if it gets to the point where some of these dudes that are chasing you, these other mercs, are like interrupting, kind of your experience or whatever, you can just pay off the bounty and they'll go away. Very easy button press, and that side system is gone.
So I've been surprised at how many people like this game.
Yeah.
It is like very favorable among a lot of people. Do you think I'd like it or no? Do you think that I'd have the same problems with it I have about a lot of
well, this one breaks the mold for me because they still, I hope it's not a spoiler, but like they still haven't just done the you're an assassin and an ancient line of an assassin. Like they just completely, I know we said it last week, but it's even more true now that I've like tripled the amount of game time I've put into it. This is just good open world action game with Assassin's Creed just slapped on there. Maybe you like the Ezio kind of stuff and getting the cool cloak and the little dagger that pops out of your wrist, whatever. But like this is a huge breakaway from those games. It's not as formulaic anymore. A lot of problems I had with the earlier games too is like I want to venture outside the city, and you'd get that like wall is like you can't progress past this spot, so it was very sectioned, and it was based on like acts. Whereas this one is just like you want to go to the end of the earth, go there, start sailing away. So, I mean, in those aspects, I really like it. I know one of the few Assassin's Creeds that you've played and liked, at least, had to do with being out on the open sea, and this one's awesome as far as getting on your ship and doing a bunch of fights out on the open waters, or just sailing to different places that you couldn't otherwise access. And it's just really cool because obviously, if we're doing an ancient Greece story, there's just a bunch of little island nations everywhere. So you're sailing and fighting and picking up treasures and all that stuff, and you're getting to like coves and stuff like that you can dive down in and explore. So it's really cool. And that was another problem with the old Assassin's Creed games. If you jumped in the water, reset. You can't swim somehow. I guess they lost that art of the assassins somewhere along the line. But I think you would probably enjoy it. I think it would at least be above Horizon for you.
I would hope so.
I mean, that's a fairly low bar. I think you would enjoy it as much as Horizon or more, but I don't know if you've got the time for it. I forget what the end of the year looks like for you, but
Smash Brothers. There's something else in December I want to play too. I can never remember what it is, but there's something there.
Yeah, December's a weird month because they always like delay stuff or do games like this, or like hey, this game got a whatever version in December, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
they just kind of like throw it out.
I don't know. I don't want to pass on something that I might really, really like, but I haven't seen anything that would tell me that I'd really like it. Yeah. But just people love it, man. Yeah. But people also loved Horizon. That's a good point.
But
I didn't.
Yeah, I think it would probably land around like a 7 or 8 for you. It's just to get a lot out of it. There's a lot of systems in play, like the Merc one I talked about. One I didn't talk about last week because I hadn't gotten to it. There's a cultist system, so you are actively, when you're completing quests and stuff like that, you're getting clues about people. So you'll see this big, long menu of like a web of people you need to take down, sort of like if you're taking down like a syndicate or like a mob or something like that, and you're taking down like the lowly people and working your way up to like the lieutenants, all the way up to the big cheese himself, I guess. You get clues throughout the game, so you can buy clues every now and then. You can find clues in some chests that you open up. You kill people and you get some clues, like maybe like a little scroll that was on their person, I guess, when you kill them. And like you go identify these people, and you have to like sail out, go find them and kill them. And like you're just taking down an organization like that. And I would imagine that's part of the main story, but it's not just completely like here's main story, here's side story, here's optional. Like it's just it all feels the same. Mm-hmm. So you don't really know too much whether, sort of like you're talking about with Rise of the Tomb Raider, where you did some stuff, it was pretty fun, you enjoyed it, and you're like, oh, that was a side quest.
Yeah.
So that was
really
cool. This game is much more like that, much more like The Witcher, where they put effort into side stories, and it's not just, hey, my chickens ran away, go get them. Like there's actually some cool
go catch these 5 chickens. Sparta boy.
Yeah, and I mean, in this game, it's obviously like Socrates going to tell you to do stuff. It's like, okay, cool, some cool personalities.
The time period at least lets me be interested in it, like from afar.
I think you would really enjoy the female protagonist as well.
Cassandra? Is that her name? Yeah.
They do a really cool system, and I love when games do this, when you have options. It's not just like your character mold A and B. It's if you choose this person, then this is how this other character plays into the game. So it's not like this one gets completely forgotten about. So you get to experience both. But yeah, if you choose this one, then this one shows up this way. If you choose person B, then I'm sure A shows up in a weird way too. So that's cool. And well, yeah, I'll just keep it at that. But yeah, so there's just so many systems going on and on and on. So you get to sort of just pick your poison. Do I want to go on like an epic gear sort of chase? Do I want to just go kill like some robed, mysterious people? Do I want to just climb up the merc chain and be like top merc? Or do I want to go fight in the arena and stuff like that? Like there's just a wealth of options, and you don't feel like one is particularly pressing. Sort of like these games where the sandbox mode is kind of like the the way that they approach the game, but the overarching story is like the world's ending, this massive threat is coming to kill us all, and you're like, I'm gonna go do some side quests. See ya. Like you feel weird when you do that. This one's main story leaves a lot of room for you to be like, okay, well I can do this on my way to doing that. So you don't feel that that kind of odd position of like, would I really be doing this if I was this main character? Would I just be like, that big massive space threat out there sort of sucks, but there's this girl I want to go talk to. Like you don't get any of that you would in similar style of games. And yeah, just like everything that they had from Origins is refined. And I don't feel, I liked Origins, but I don't feel like it had this like wealth of just stuff to do. I wanted to stick to like the main quest. And the main character was pretty cool. But I like ancient Greece more than ancient Egypt. I like Cassandra more than guy whose name I already forgot from Origins. The gear is better too. You get options. This one, gives you some cool defenses and like bonus stats, and this one makes you want to play in like a style where you want to like poison people and kill them that way, and this one makes you want to like regain health and just jump into the fray. Because versus the old Assassin's Creed style games, this one you are not wanting so much to jump in the middle of 10 guys and take them on. You want to do 1v1 fights and like separate, divide and conquer, I guess, sort of style. But obviously all these different sets, armor sets and stuff like that. I showed you one where obviously they took a nod from like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's all sorts of ancient Greek style armor sets too, where you can look as big and manly as you want to, or you can look as like sleek and elegant, or like sort of like an assassin type style. But this one just really kind of breaks the mold on the game. I think even Origins did a lot of, you are an assassin, obviously the origins of how this like long line of people throughout throughout the series, I guess, kind of joined their little factions and guilds and did their own thing. This one, I feel like they haven't even mentioned the word assassin. So
it's possible.
I'm not sure.
It's like a prequel to everything. I don't know. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. But maybe at the end they'll do something that's just like, this is part of the main series. But a lot of the negatives that I've had with other Assassin's Creed games just went out the window with this one, and it's still just as fun in hour 30 now that I'm super powered up. I've got a lot of legendary gear, so I feel powerful. I don't know. I'm still meeting a lot of cool characters that you read in the books, and you're like, oh man, this guy's here. Like, what would he have been like? Because obviously no one alive at this time would have known what any of these people were like, so it's cool to get nice little interpretations and stuff like that. And there's just, like I said, all the systems that are in play give you a nice bit of variety where you're not just stuck like grinding or just, I'll just do the main quest and leave this other stuff alone or whatever. So lots of options, and that's what I really like about open world, sandboxy style games. And I will continue to play this until maybe some of the games that we mentioned coming out soon take me away from it.
So I haven't been too crazy. I've been jumping back into stuff that I've already talked about, but I'll talk about them briefly. Astrobot is the best VR game. It is incredible. They've added more and more mechanics to it. As I played deeper and deeper into the game, like World 2 is better than World 1, World 3 is better than World 2, World 4 is better than World 3, World 5 is incredible. Like, just absolutely incredible. The amount of range and stuff, and I don't even really want to spoil a bunch of it, but like, the amount of range and things that they have you do. They had me do something in VR, and I literally looked at the VR world and the screen telling me what to do, and I went, that's not going to work. And then I did it. And it worked. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, I legitimately don't understand. But yeah, it just, the way, and this is what I really think it is. The world's stylized in a way that totally works, and you believe that you're there, and you're controlling this character, and he controls great, and all that's fine and dandy. but I really feel like the thing that works the most is the controller vibration. Like, when you stick your controller into something, you get this heavy, like, feedback to it, and then when you yank it back out, you have that feedback, and just, like...
What are you using, like a key or something?
Huh?
Are you using it like a key?
Yeah, to open
something?
treasure chests, you put your controller in. Whenever you save a robot, he flies and he's in your controller.
Yeah,
so when you shake it,
that.
you feel the vibration of them being in the control. Like, there's just... It's perfect. Like, it feels like it looks, if that makes sense. And that's a really big deal. And I think they nailed it.
That makes me think of like the 4D kind of theater things that they're trying to do.
They got HD Rumble down, man. Nintendo should be scared.
Where they blow like wind in your face and stuff like that during some scene. Like just getting that extra bit of like just the senses that aren't being actively engaged, like getting those.
No, it's so cool. Like, it's unbelievably good. Like I said, I must play... Like, if you have VR, you need this, and I think this is a selling point for VR. That mouse bundle's awesome.
Sounds like the difference, too, in Resident Evil 7, where playing it on screen versus wearing the VR, because you can see it on screen. Like, they get, like, right in your face on the screen, like, okay, ooh, you know, whatever. But when you're wearing it... when you're wearing the headset, you naturally go like, "Whoa, dude! Like you're right up in my face."
Yeah, like they literally feel like they're 2 or 3 centimeters from your nose.
So if you had something like a fan or something blowing on you, like, oh my, like quit breathing on me, like you're way too close.
Lot. It's great. On top of that, I finished Mega Man 11. I was a little hard on it last week. I do think it's really good. I went and kind of looked up some of the fun stuff that you can do in that game, and I was like, oh, okay. Not that I've been playing it wrong, because part of the reason Mega Man's great is there's not a way to play it wrong. Like, you can play through the whole game with the Mega Buster if you want, or you could, use the weapons, or you could do a mix and match, but every single level has secret stuff that you can do if you have the right items. I didn't know that. I, towards the end of the game, looked up the boss, like for when you refight everybody, which you do in all the Mega Mans. I was like, I'm just going to look up what they're weak to this time. And the fight, it changed some of the dynamics of the fights and the dialogue and kind of how the characters responded to you. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, I understand what they did now, and I don't think it jumps like a crazy amount, but I definitely would rank it up a little bit more. It is a little bit short, which is a little disappointing. There's not too much, like you beat your 8 robot masters, and there's like the Wily Castle isn't that crazy. And I do think that the levels are long and the music is not great compared to the other games. It's not like that catchy music, but like gameplay wise, it is really, really good. And I don't think I gave it enough credit for that. So I did that. Also, just a fun thing. For some reason, when you save the game, it tells you like the time, like the real actual time in military time.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, I'd save and it would be like 12:06. And I'm like, man, I've put 12 hours into this game.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And then I realized on the bottom right, there's a little counter and it's like, 4 hours. I'm like, oh, why does it tell you the time that you saved the game? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, Mega Man 11, better than I thought. Next up, The World Ends With You, which is something I'm not that deep into the game, but I just wanted to, try it out, see how it was. Very pretty. The music's amazing. It's so stylized, and like I love the characters. I love so much about this game. Except the entire game is touchscreen. Totally touch control. You can't even like cycle dialogue or move your character or anything without using the touchscreen. You have to like hold and drag, and I'm like, I'm not into this. And I heard that the docked mode is really bad because it kind of makes it like a Wiimote, and you mouse pointer around. So the combat in the game is strange because you basically equipped moves, and then you have to perform the move to do them. So one might be a swipe, one might be tapping a certain number of times, and you're kind of like chaining together these attacks. So you're like swipe, tap a couple times, swipe, tap a couple times. And with a pointer, that's really, really hard.
Sure.
But I think maybe because I'm so early in the game still, it's not that hard for me right now, and I actually think I prefer playing on the TV over the handheld mode because of that. But yeah, I very much enjoy the game, but I do feel like I'm playing a Wii game, and it's a little bit weird to feel like that. But gosh, that soundtrack's incredible.
Sort of sounds like Persona Q. Like, you like the game, the story, the characters are all right, but like the actual style of...
Yeah, Q's a little weird because I actually just didn't like the combat in Q, so that's a little strange. This one, it's not that I don't like the combat, and I feel like this is one where like the game's on normal by default, but there's different difficulties. I would drop it down to easy without thinking about it if I get frustrated, because it's literally like tapping and swiping combat. Like, I don't need to perfect that. I'm good, you know? So,
but yeah, just like the general portion of the game. It's
Yeah.
just like not your cup of tea, but the other stuff is cool.
Cool enough to get through it. Yeah, but I'm really enjoying just the atmosphere of the game. It's actually really fantastic, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
Especially if you go look at like a DS, which is, people forget what a DS looks like. It's very pixelated and not great. These are like beautiful, beautiful pieces of art that they have. So yeah, that's really it that I've been playing. I've just been hopping between things. I need to get back to Tomb Raider. I'm debating if I'm going to be getting Red Dead, so I really need to get back to Tomb Raider, because
Got a couple weeks to figure it out, but man,
if that's happening, I need to.
I actively don't watch anything on Red Dead because I would like to be surprised, and just like I tend to get lost in these types of worlds. So if I do like the funny little quirky thing that's like, oh, it reacted. I saw one thing too. Accidentally, I guess.
I've seen quite a few things, but it's getting me excited because there's like things that don't matter.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And I only saw this, I think, because of a Twitter post, and it's not something I would get frustrated about, but they said in the middle of the fight, you know, your hat can get shot off or you can lose it, and you can like actively lose it. Like, it's not something that's just stapled to your head like in every other character. Like, you can just actively lose
I have no interest in these characters, this world, anything.
Yeah.
But like just the physics and the interactions in the game, that's what I'm interested in.
You just want to pretend it's like a Breath of the Wild.
I just want to stir the pot, and see what comes out. Like, I don't even know what the story is. I don't care. Like,
it's the Old West. Like,
I just want to see the horse testicles shrink with the leather. Like, that's all I care about. That's really cool. They added that to the game. That was money well spent.
But yeah, I'm like actively avoiding that stuff because I knew from day one, or I knew since playing Red Dead Redemption that I was going to buy the next one if they ever made it. But
the horse actually just walks to the place, so that's nice. That was my favorite thing that they announced. They're like, hey, you can just have the horse walk to the next objective. I'm like, thank you.
It's like Final Fantasy 15. You and horses go way back.
I don't like horses. There's no good horses in video games.
But yeah, I know that game's gonna take me over, so I just avoid watching anything on it.
We'll see if I get. I'm getting pretty close to wanting it.
Yeah.
Like actually actively wanting it. So that's exciting. I also want to give a shout out in this what we've been playing to Siren, because I brought it up last week. I played it a week or two ago, and I just never talked about it. It is a PlayStation 2 game. It is on PlayStation 4 as part of their like PS2 on PS4 thing, and I think it's also on PlayStation Now. So you have a lot of access to it. And it's interesting. It is a stealth horror game where the idea of it is that you can sight jack, which means you can look through the eyes of kind of like the enemies. So I guess kind of picture Resident Evil 4, where instead of the enemies like actively just like hunting you down, you could hide in a corner and look through all of their eyes. So you see where they are and what they can see, and then you try to sneak around them. And that's what makes it kind of terrifying, is like you look through their eyes and you can like see where you are while you're doing your thing. It's very unique, very interesting. It gets a little frustrating when you start throwing in the fact that there's like sniper zombie things that will be like on a rooftop, and you need to look and make sure that they don't have a view of you because you die very quickly.
Yeah.
You can't defend yourself very well in this game. It is way more heavily stealth than it is anything else, but it has an interesting story. The way it's laid out is really cool but really confusing. I definitely say use a guide, because the puzzles are totally obtuse and they don't tell you how to solve the puzzles. So you play as multiple characters over multiple time periods, but like you need to unlock a door in the past so that when you get there in the future it's unlocked. And if you didn't do that, you're not going to realize that you didn't do that, and you're not going to know like what time period to jump to open that door to trigger that event. So like there's stuff like that, but it's definitely a really cool like play with a guide. This is interesting. You cycle through their eyes, and you can map them to different buttons so you can quickly see like where, like who's looking where and stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm not like in love with it or anything. It's probably my least favorite of his games that he's done, with Silent Hill and Gravity Rush being the other series. But like I'm still enjoying my time with it, and I think it's an idea that I haven't seen. So I like that. With that said, let's move into the very shallow news that we have. And we'll start out with PlayStation VR's second birthday. It's been 2 years, which is crazy.
Hooray.
Yeah, and they had a couple announcements. The big ones are, first off, Firewall's getting some DLC. It's going to be paid DLC for like cosmetic stuff, nothing that affects the games. All the maps and everything that come out for that game are going to be free, the game modes and all that stuff. They wanted to make sure that you know that. But if you want, like, I don't know, a cute little sheep hanging on your gun while you shoot people, you can put a cute little sheep on your gun while you
it sounds like they're taking notes from Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, absolutely. It is exactly. They are.
I still need to play it.
They are very, very, very copying it. It's very good. I would put that very highly on a PlayStation VR list.
Do you use a controller or do you use the gun?
I use the gun because using the controller is a little weird because it's motion controlled. So like you have to pull the controller up to your eyes to shoot, and I'm like, this is a little strange. And I was like, I guess I'll try the gun, and I was like, oh, this is how they designed the game.
Does it tell you to use the gun?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't tell you. When you buy it, it comes with the gun.
I know. Oh, okay.
Like, it's got a bundle, or you can get it separately.
I was going to say, a lot of games like that always do, like, the best if used with.
No, they didn't do that, but, like, I mean, it was clearly built for the gun.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I mean, if you have to bring the controller, like, up, that's...
It was really weird. It felt like I was rewiring my brain, and I didn't like it, because I'm holding this thing that's so familiar, and I'm just like...
It's already fragile enough.
Let's not break it anymore. On top of that, we're getting Tetris Effect on, I believe, November 9th, but the news was that if you pre-order it now, you get the soundtrack, which is really cool. So I went and listened to some of that, which made me happy. You get like a theme and stuff. But the bigger news is that they are just doing a full worldwide release of the retail copy. Originally, they announced that later in the year, or possibly in 2019, they'll put out a retail copy for a limited run thing, or an IM 8-bit like they did with Rez. Day and date coming out, full retail copy. Super excited about that. $40 game. It's going to be weird. Our Game of the Year video is going to be weird when I give Tetris Game of the Year, but that is almost certainly what's going to happen.
You never know.
I think I know. You give me a game that I already love, and you give me awesome visuals and music.
But where's Puyo Puyo Effect?
I hope that's the next one they're working on. The Puyo Puyo Effect. On top of all of that, we got the big news, which is Borderlands 2 VR.
Yeah.
The full single player, not co-op. It's a big thing because co-op would have been really cool. But it is the full single player Borderlands 2 game in VR. They redid the menus. They redid the vault system. So I haven't played Borderlands 2, so I'm talking a little bit out of my ass here. But like, I guess you go into vaults and like find things. I assume that's like...
It's like dungeon run.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. I assume it's like going through a dungeon or whatever, and you get to like look around, and there's things like there's new things like hidden in the actual vaults that you can only see because of the 360 view and stuff like that. But yeah, a really cool idea. I think bringing these old games to VR is a smart way to do it because it's something that people are already familiar with and they can jump into and kind of understand. And especially when you take something like this that's like cell shaded and has
I was going to say
style.
That's one of the pros to this is that the art style is going to look beautiful regardless. With some of these other games, I mean, Elder Scroll, you can see the wear and tear from the graphics of it just because it's more realistic, but it still looks great. Just regardless, just because it's on the VR platform. But yeah, something like Borderlands is going to look great.
Yeah,
just because.
Yeah, I'm excited to check this one out. It's coming. Oh, it's coming in December. Yeah. It's like December. Is it 9th? Is it coming the same day as? I hope not. I didn't write it down, but I'm starting to think it's the same, or not the same day, but it's going to come out with like on top of Smash Brothers and everything. That's not good.
Well, I mean, how much are you going to play Smash Brothers by yourself?
It depends on how you unlock these characters, to be honest.
Oh, it's going to be awful. It's going to be the biggest grind fest of the year.
I might actually play a lot of Smash Brothers by myself, depending on how that goes. But anyway, Borderlands 2 VR, super excited for that. Great announcement. Keep bring Fallout 3 VR, bring whatever you can.
It's a little odd because I got burnt on the game because I played with a group up until a point. And I like missed a couple nights
and
from
then
live,
level.
and they got ahead of me, and then I had to play by myself. But if they redid some systems and made it easier to play by yourself, then okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I had that same exact problem with DC Universe Online. I took a night off and came back, and everybody was max leveled because they did some like big grind night, and I was like, why would you do that the night I couldn't play? I'm not playing this game anymore, and I just never played again because I was level like 20, and they were all maxed. So I'm like, okay,
especially in Borderlands 2, because levels mean a lot. So you run into that one dude who, they're shooting, they're fighting against, but he looks at you and you die, and you're like, well, okay, I'm out of this one.
Yeah, we'll learn more stuff about it, I'm sure. But
yeah, if they revamped
looks
it
good.
to solely play by yourself, then it could possibly go from con to pro. But
yeah, I'm very, very interested, especially as somebody who hasn't played Borderlands 2. Tried to get it for the Vita to play, never found a copy cheap enough. People want too much money for that Vita copy. You know what I mean? It was a bundle.
Yeah.
It should be cheap.
Did you play the first one?
No. Yeah, that's a lie. I did play some of the first one.
Okay.
I didn't
You
go
played
crazy
Tales, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. So
the
you
Tales.
at least know Borderlands.
Yeah. I know Handsome Jack and I know Claptrap. I get their personalities.
Good old Claptrap.
There's that one guy that's like crazy. I forget his name, but he's like out of his mind. I liked him.
There's
too.
lots of those in that universe.
Anyway, I'm down to play this. Next up, PlayStation 4 has a weird message going around that is bricking people's consoles. So apparently there's some sort of security. It's a little bit of a rumor, honestly, but people are getting a message, and if some say you open it, some say you don't open it, whatever, it screws something up in your console and will actually brick the console or cause you to have to open it in safe mode and do a system restore.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are saying a workaround is if you get it to go on your phone, open your messenger, delete the message from your phone, and then do the system restore, and you won't lose your data. But a lot of people are also reporting losing their data from whatever this is. The best way to prevent it is to just set your messages to friends only until Sony officially is like, hey, we fixed that that issue. So I did that. I sent my messages on friends only. I actually had a friend who just got their Fortnite account hacked 3 or 4 days ago. They had that Samsung Galaxy skin, that skin you need the phone to buy, and somebody hacked their Fortnite account.
Nice.
And they got it back, and they put on their 2-step verification and all that stuff. But scary stuff.
Yeah, there was a month straight where I got emails multiple times a day from Epic saying a failed attempt because I put it on 2-step when the Twitch Prime bonus came out.
See, I never did. I put it on 2-step 2 days ago because that happened to my friend, and I was like,
yeah. But when the Twitch Prime bonus, whatever it is, came out, not that I ever plan on playing Fortnite, but just because my Epic account's tied to my email and all that stuff too, I just put it on 2-step, and then every day after that for a month, it was failed attempt from India, failed attempt from Scotland. I'm like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, so always do 2-step verification.
Yeah, I'm learning my lesson. Anyway, yeah, you can put your messages on friends and just wait for it to kind of pass over.
I'm scared to check now. I haven't turned my PS4 on in a
while. Next up, Sony has officially confirmed that a new console is in the works because it is quote unquote necessary. Mm-hmm. So this was just a translated script from I believe the president of Sony, Sony overall, not Interactive Entertainment or anything like that. And he just said that there's a new console in the works. It's a necessary thing. That's how we make a lot of money in a short amount of time. That's basically what it translated to. The PlayStation 5 is real. Surprise, surprise. Shocking absolutely nobody. The more interesting thing is, and I don't know if we ever talked about it, but we could just throw out a couple. What games do you think are PS5 games? You think Cyberpunk's PS5 game? Do you think?
I don't know. I would have said that after E3, but then we got the 40-minute gameplay, and I was like, wow, this is way further ahead than I thought it would be.
Oh, wow.
So
there's rumors that the next Call of Duty, literally the next Call of Duty, which is 2019.
Yeah.
What is that, Infinity Ward? Their Call of Duty is...
So originally I would have guessed that PS5 is 2020, and I would have guessed Cyberpunk was about that time. But then 40-minute gameplay comes out in pure 4K or whatever you want to watch it in. I was like, my God, this game looks pretty... I wouldn't call it alpha, even though it flashed it on the screen the whole time. This is alpha.
Sure it's alpha.
I was like, if this is alpha, then every other game looks like trash. But that game looked way further ahead, so I'm like 2019. And the only thing
I wouldn't be surprised by it end of the year 2019.
And what that makes me think now is obviously the only thing that could signal you into thinking PS5 is here, it'd be Unreal 6 engine showed off now, and you're just like, huh. This looks really good. Can any game do it? Then you're like, new system can. So I don't know. It's hard to gauge like where a system's at if they're just going to make like a 5th one or a 6th one or something like that. Whereas if you see like a copyright for portable system that can dock into, physical
That's
big
fair.
screen version, you're like, this sounds like a new system coming out. So it's hard to gauge it. But yeah, I would imagine at this point, some of the big blockbuster games that we know about, I'd say Death Stranding and Cyberpunk both come out and they are effectively
Cross
like each generation seems to have that one or two, handful of games, whatever, that really stress a system. And it can like barely run it. And in this case, you'd have to get like the PS4 Pro and it runs 100% fine. But people mention maybe overheating or stuttering or something.
Yeah,
with
you
the
get that
basic
Grand
version.
Theft Auto 5 thing where on the 360 it literally sounded like it was going to blow up at any moment.
So I think those will be the games that in the PS4 era, and then we'll get 5 after.
Yeah,
that.
it's soon.
Maybe it'll have, because they come out so late, they'll be like, here's the rebundled Death Stranding PS5, and you get this and this with it. So
it's going to be weird because it doesn't feel so recent. And the thing that, I don't really want a PS5. Like, especially kind of the rumors are that Horizon 2 is going to be the
that
title
makes sense.
for
I
it,
think
which
Horizon
doesn't interest me.
Yeah, well, it just depends on what they do with it. Horizon and God of War, the next one, probably.
Ooh, I think that one's a bit further away. I think they could show it, but I think Horizon could launch for it. But the thing that worries me about the PS5, and it didn't worry me about Blu-ray and DVD because it's been so long, and 4K and Blu-ray because it's been so long, is they're gonna just start remastering games again.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be like, here's the PS4 game on the PS5 and it looks better.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm down for that. I don't know if
it'd probably just be more backwards compatible then.
I don't know.
That's not their thing, but if they're looking at areas that they haven't really hit lately.
You don't think they're gonna put Last of Us on PS5? I guarantee Last of Us is on PS5.
Yeah.
And so is Last of Us 2. I don't know.
I mean, there'll be another Uncharted collection. And
that's what I'm saying. I'm just not. I don't think I can go through that again. I'm good. Which doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I'm just saying.
I just know that there's
no
new format change. I mean, they're not going to start printing it on 4K discs or something.
I'm going to feel like those people that complained at the beginning of the PS4 generation, who were like, "Oh, they're all remasters." And I'm like, "Yeah, but they're beautiful and they're awesome and they're amazing and all this stuff." And if they do that again, I'm going to be like, "Well." You're right this time.
I have no need for it, but that's because I'm mostly PC and there's no new era of it. It's just you got a new graphics card. Congrats. Or something like that. So
next up, Hellblade is coming out physically, finally.
Yeah.
Felt like it took forever. December 4th of this year. So this sounds weird. I wanted limited run to do a Hellblade run for such a long time, and now my hype on the game has died down quite a bit, which is unfortunate. I still might get this though, but I think it's $30. It doesn't, I don't think, have any new content or anything like that. The reason I'm mostly interested in it is because this is a Microsoft game at this point. Microsoft owns that studio, but it's coming out on PS4. Physically. Yeah. And I kind of just want that because that's a game I do not think will be remastered for the PS5. You know what I mean?
Probably not.
That's a game that I could see kind of disappearing and never coming back, at least the PlayStation version of it. So I might actually just pick it up on the PlayStation, leave it sealed or something like that.
I wish they would do a collector's version for it. A cool figure.
Yeah, something. It's
like
weird. The cover is just the cover art. They didn't do anything new, and then they just put all the awards on it, so it's ugly.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just think it's cool that it's coming to PS4, but
I don't know. They needed a cool version for me, a steel book or a figure or something for me to carry.
Dude, if they did a figure, I absolutely would have got it. I love Senua as a character. Yeah. I think she's a great character, and I feel like they're probably at least thinking about doing Hellblade 2 or something. Sure. You know what I mean? That. I think that's a possibility, and I think that it's strange that they wouldn't.
Or just another sort of Blade game.
Yeah, just keep see how many times you can change the name of your game. Heavenly Sword, Hellblade, Earth Dagger. Next up,
Purgatory Sharp thing.
You can stream Assassin's Creed Odyssey through Google Chrome via Project Stream. So this is an announcement. It's like a invite beta thing that you can go into. You can stream Assassin's Creed, and they announced it, I think, a week ago, and then they were just like, surprise, Assassin's Creed's going to be playable on it, and people have been playing it, and the reports are it's good.
Yeah.
Like, the reports are it looks good, it plays really good, it seems like it's way better than any of the other streaming services that people have had. The only complaint that I've seen is that the audio is compressed. Like, you can tell the audio is not crisp.
But I guess
that's still cool.
If you're streaming it, then you don't normally have volume at like 100% pure. And I know most people are talking over it, commenting, or just being their personalities or whatever. So if that's the only drawback, then
no, it's one of those things you got to try it before you buy it. So I have no like opinion on it because I haven't done it. All I know is I don't have an interest in game streaming as like a long future thing. Like I don't mind it as like a casual, maybe throw a few dollars here and play this game I kind of wanted to just check out, or like, hey, there's this game that I want to play with you tonight. The stores are closed. Let's just do this. Like that stuff is fine with me. I don't want this to be the future of games though. I have literally no interest in that. But if they found something that seems like it's working, that's interesting, at least. I don't know. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I don't know. Haven't played it. PlayStation Now, played a ton of that. Didn't have a problem. We played fighting games and puzzle games and all sorts of stuff, and it worked totally fine. I still don't fully understand people's complaints in general with that stuff. I mean, it clearly looks like muddier and stuff than a regular game, but like just as a it's 1 a.m. and we can play Blaze Blue right now. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Next up.
And I'm sure Google has the money to make it.
Oh, Google has money?
Yeah. Make it what it needs to be. So,
breaking news. Google has money. Next up, there is a rumor that Obsidian is being purchased by Microsoft. And if reports are to believe, it's not a if it's going to happen, it's a when it's going to happen situation. So almost, I don't want to say almost confirmed because it is still a rumor, but the sources are saying that it's almost confirmed that they're buying it. Like they're in the final process of doing this. Obsidian, so when I hear that name, the first thing I think of is South Park. Stick of Truth, because I think they're the ones that picked it up and finished it up. And then I didn't actually know, they did KOTOR 2.
Yep, remake incoming.
Which I didn't know that's not happening. I think there's too many licensing problems.
They
with
got
that.
this.
And Fallout New Vegas, which is probably the biggest thing that I know about. So like an RPG house for them. They did Pillars of Eternity as well, I believe.
That game's really well received.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. I like that Microsoft, like, I'm
buying them, boys.
I'm gonna be honest, guys. I hate my Xbox One. I regret purchasing that thing. Please give me a reason to buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about your system. And every time you're like, hey, I bought Ninja Theory, or I bought I'm like, cool. Let's fix this. Let's make this.
Yeah.
Make the Xbox great again. Let's do it. We can do this. And it seems like they're still got they're on a tear with those purchasing studios.
Stuff like this makes me more and more interested in their PSX, I guess, for lack of a better comparison. But their conference is coming up, so hopefully there's some cool news.
Hit a button. Next up, actually, let's move into a question.
Okay.
Here's our question. What is the morality of leaking video games early? So this is something that they talked about a little bit on Sacred Symbols, the PlayStation podcast by Colin Moriarty, Chris Reagan. And I was like, that is a really good question that I've just never heard discussed on anything. So I wanted to bring it up to you. When Kotaku or whoever leaked the Reddit, I guess, whoever leaked the Harry Potter game and all that stuff, how do you feel about that? Is that I mean, obviously it's wrong in that you shouldn't do it, but is it an issue? Does it call it
Yeah, I mean, it's not just video games either. It's movie. I hate that I really am a sucker for the big presentations or reveals. I hate, if we want to expand beyond games, I hate when it's like, I guess to use a popular franchise right now, like if a Marvel movie and it's like, this guy's reported to sign a 5-movie contract. And so you go into the next one thinking, well, he's not going to die in this one. He's got 4 more movies.
That's true.
Like, I hate when that stuff's announced. I hate just anything that takes away, because I know there's people sitting in these studios, whether they're hundreds of thousands of employees or just 10, and they're getting this trailer ready. They've got this cool thing worked on, and they're waiting for that right moment or conference or whatever to reveal that the game's coming out in some cool way. And I really love, in that regard, I don't like real life surprises, but like reveals. I really love reveals, and it's really cool to get like a nice little, like in movies, like a stinger at the end. You're like, oh man, that opens up so many possibilities. And that's what I like most about E3, is the stuff that I didn't know.
Yeah.
So when people leak stuff,
I like the rumor situation where you're like, oh, Resident Evil 2, is that going to be? I don't know.
Yeah, I like people reminding me
fine.
like, hey, it's been 20 years since number 2, and then you see, even though it pissed me off this year, but you see like Capcom's Twitter doing, like putting some props on the table. It makes you think, Resident Evil? Stuff like that. And then you don't get an announcement for like 10 months. But it felt just as good to finally see it, especially as it's going. You're like, is this Resident Evil? No, this isn't Resident Evil. And then it appears. Really like the big reveals. So, and nothing, well, I won't say nothing because EA's stage presence exists, but not many things are more depressing during like an E3 or one of these conferences where like, yeah, you guys already know Assassin's Creed, where, they could have dimmed the lights. They could have had the, big reveal, and people would have gone like,
it's a little bit weird with the annualized franchises because it's like, duh. You know, like when they're inevitably like Watch Dogs 3, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was using that because that was the one where someone's like keychain showed the Odyssey logo, and they were just like, there it is. But especially this year with like the Walmart leaks.
Oh, that was bad.
Like,
that was a little weird. That one was an actual accident.
Yeah.
Like that one the ones that I'm more concerned about are people are like, hey, I know for a fact this is happening, and I'm going to tell the world. Yeah. And it's like, why? Like, why? What does that get you?
Clicks.
Well, yeah, that's I guess money.
Yeah.
And people believing you and following you. But like, I don't think it helps anything. Like I was talking about it last week, I think it was. That Harry Potter game revealed at an E3 where no one knew it was coming, and it just shows up and it's this crazy Harry Potter RPG. Yeah. People would have lost their minds. It would have been amazing. And now, like, the wind's been taken out of their sails. People are waiting to see the Harry. Now it's going to be, oh, there was a show. Where's that Harry Potter game?
Yeah.
Where's that Harry
Turns
Potter
into
game?
Pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
I hate it. I wish if I could make it so that nothing ever leaked, I would much prefer that.
Yeah.
Much, much, much.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go to these things like a kid and just like kind of have some wants and some wishes, but like if these other things pop up and surprise me, like a distraction, like, oh man, who cares about not getting this reveal that I wanted for a game that I'm pretty sure is coming out? Like, these things happen. So yeah, I really love big reveals and the surprises and the things you didn't see coming. But it's just hard, and especially with movies and stuff now. Like if you hear even the slightest bit about it, like you gotta turn blockers on your Google searches.
Watching
YouTube,
trailers.
you can't do it.
I watched trailer 1 for something that I like, and then I'm done. Like I don't want to see anymore. It's gotten too crazy, and it's working. Like it's more people are going to movies, more people are buying games, more people are doing. But like as the person who kind of does it all, who's like, I'm getting all these games anyway, and I'm watching these movies anyway. It's only hurting me,
Well, yeah, and I kind of think about it from, like I said, the studio perspective, too. Like, how many people are working on a Harry Potter game? Like, less than 100, probably, maybe 100. It sucks to have these little studios who might get some momentum ruined when they really could have jumped out there and made a name for themselves, or at least revealed it on their terms, because I'm pretty sure their idea of how to expose this to the world is a lot more interesting than just like, hey, here's this Twitter post.
30 seconds of the worst video you've ever seen online of a laptop that's all blurred and
I'd hate to think too that there's people out there who are these like revealers. I guess if that's what you want to call them.
I don't, but
I hope that they're not out there like basically being dicks and just being like, yeah, I'm your buddy, I'm your pal, and then they get like they're walking through the office and they're like,
I have much more respect for the people who know stuff and they're like, yeah, I know what this team's working on, but I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, see, those are the better.
Versus people who are like, hey, I know what this team's working on, and it's Justice League. Here's the concept art. It's like,
yeah, like in interviews when people are catching themselves and be like, oh, I can't talk about it, but you're going to like it.
Fun.
Yeah, I like that.
I will say this. I know you don't care, but I'm a little excited about it. So Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, getting another franchise.
That's cool.
We know that from the trailer. They're like, hey, there's another color. There was an interview they did, and they were reading like fan things, and one person was like, hey, what about the Hyperdimension Neptunia characters?
Yeah.
And the guy said, we would love to have them in the game, but I'm not allowed to talk about this right now. And the new logo is a plus sign, which is the logo for Hyperdimension. It's a theory.
Yeah, have fun with that.
It's a theory. I like Nep Nep.
Store that right next to Medieval remake.
Unbelievable. Oh, I want that game so badly. But anyway, yeah, I would prefer either no leaks at all and surprise us every time, or just developers be like, hey, we're working on this game. Maybe it'll pan out. Maybe it won't. More like what movies do. Maybe we'll find the director and the screenwriter and everybody won't leave the project and we'll make a movie. Or at this
the
point,
only
a game.
times I like that are when developers do like developer diaries.
Sure.
And you can say
Those
like this episode is the concept artist guy talking about the leaves and stuff that he's
that worked
making.
great for Andromeda.
Well, it did well for Halo. That's where I was going with that. There's a section of my brain that I tried to forget, but you brought it back up painfully. So
that's what I'm here for. Dig up the past. Hellblade had really cool diaries as well, because that game kind of just went silent in the like
a ninja.
Yeah, like in the media, not the media, but like press conferences and stuff. They showed it, and I was like, "That's really cool." And then it kind of disappeared. But if you were checking their YouTube channel every week, they were posting a video about what was going on, which I thought was really cool.
Like I said, I keep looking at it from the developer side, so I don't want an EA situation to happen where now all of these expectations that wouldn't have existed otherwise if this one person didn't say anything, now all this exists, and some dude in an office is going like, man, this could make me a ton of money, get it out, versus taking your time with it, releasing it when you want to, revealing it how you want to, and just like having a little bit more control over the situation.
Yep. Let's talk about those game releases and then get out of here, shall we?
Okay.
Interesting. Didn't realize these games were like. There's a couple big name games this week. One that I'm sure you're excited for.
Prove it.
Haven't heard anything about these games. Gonna be honest. It's been even though they're so like close to coming out. I'm just a little bit surprised, and I guess it's just that Red Dead stuff. Like people are. The
looming shadow.
Well, the headlines are all about Red Dead and Call of Duty right now, and that's it. So I feel a little bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, like every headline too is like you can hear a guy fart in the woods in Red Dead. It's like this other game doesn't even have a chance of. Like no one cares about that versus Red Dead.
Yeah,
stuff.
They'll be like the birds migrate in Red Dead. It's like, oh my god, that's the coolest
when
thing
the temperature
ever.
drops, they fly south. It's like, what?
We got Lego DC Supervillains coming to the PS4, Xbox One, the Switch, and the PC October 16th. This is really cool. I'm not going to get it. This is one of the first years, maybe. I don't think I did last year either because it was kind of crazy, where I'm skipping over kind of the November, October Lego game. They're just really good kind of annualized games that I actually think are a little bit overshadowed because they're good like platformer puzzle games.
Sure.
Next up, Starlink is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, October 16th. Nobody is buying this game on PS4 and Xbox One. Let me tell you that much.
Is this the one where it's basically Star Fox?
Yes.
where it started out as its own thing. Everyone went, I don't care. And then the second trailer, they're like, Star Fox is in it. It's like, huh? And then the third trailer was, this is Star Fox.
Yeah. I would love to see the sales between PS4, Xbox One, and Switch because I bet they're skewed.
Probably.
Yeah. I haven't even seen the cover of the game. I bet Fox is on the cover of the Switch version of the game.
I bet it controls better than the most recent Star Fox game as well.
Yikes. We have For Honor Marching Fire, PS4, Xbox One, PC, October 16th. Still getting expansions, still pushing out that For Honor stuff. Didn't know that. Don't care, but didn't know that.
As someone who bought it at launch and played with people, like, I'm surprised this thing still exists, but I guess they're just going to keep dragging out different... I would imagine this is a different like group of people. I would imagine by now they've probably got upwards of like 10 different, like they had samurai, they had...
I don't know if it's that much, but yeah. Ooh.
I gotta go
download this game.
But yeah, I'm sure they're just adding different styles of warriors into it by
Sure.
now.
What's Marching Fire? What fire warriors are there?
I don't know. Got to check it out.
Next up, Dark Souls Remaster is coming to the Switch October 19th.
There you go.
This kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed.
Yeah.
I guess it's finally coming out.
Now you can finally praise the sun. Oh, and get the best amiibo ever.
Well, that's
GameStop
true.
only.
The amiibo is cool, and that part's not cool. Dude, I hate the GameStop only stuff because I don't get any sort of discount there, and they make you pay for shipping, which is really freaking annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I bought the Mega Man Collector's Edition, and I think it was $70 or $80.
Oof.
And then they're like, hey, pay $10 in shipping. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, by the way, it's not showing up the day the game comes out. I'm like, you're useless. Like, what is the point of your company right now?
Yeah, I would like it more if robots worked there.
It's awful.
So I could just be like, mute. I'll take this game, please.
Finally, we got Soul Calibur 6 coming to the PS4, Xbox One, PC, October 19th.
Oh, that game.
I'm super excited to play this with you. I'm going to be honest.
And since we can't get to Mario Party, it seems, then at
dude,
least...
Craig's fallen downstairs. Can't come play Mario Party. He's fallen downstairs. Kellen's like obsessed with sports all of a sudden. Can't come play the Mario Parties. Got to be obsessed with sports.
Todd
might
dimension.
be dead. There was like a solid 35 episodes where we legitimately didn't know where Todd was or what he was doing with his life. He kind of disappeared. It's been like that for 3 weeks. It's happening again. We don't know what
He goes
happened.
on vision quests, I think.
I think it's a Red Dead thing. Todd migrates in this game, and he went south. He'll be back eventually.
Well, last time he came back like thinner, so
he did. He came back. He looked good. He's like, I've been working out.
Yeah.
With the monster shirts.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got a sponsorship and everything.
Unbelievable. Anyway, I'm excited to play Soul Calibur. Gonna be switching my main from Ivy to Terra, I think her name was. So you got to be getting the pre-ordered one. I know you will.
No worries there.
But,
you're not buying it. You're just ready to play it.
I don't think I'm gonna buy. Okay. So to me, it's like this or Red Dead. You know, I'm like, I don't need both. And I figure if you're gonna get it,
I'm buying 2 copies, so don't worry there.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not super worried about it. And also, Soul Calibur. While I love 2, 3 I didn't like, 4 I didn't like, 5 I didn't like.
Back your
this one looks great. I didn't get to play in the network test or whatever they called it. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll like it and end up owning it.
From a Soul Calibur fan, it's good.
Okay.
But that was a handful of matches. Now that I get to like do training mode and actually learn the game, probably like it even more. So,
well, that's it for the releases, the opinions, and the news this week on the Press X Podcast. Thank you so much for being here, Nick.
No problem.
And thank you guys so much for watching. We will speak with you next time.